Hi friends, my name is host Eric, and I am the host of Talking with Famous People. I'm going to right out the gate have a request. Please everybody, if possible, keep your buttholes away from my face. No, I'm not interested in smelling your butthole. A lot of people have been asking me that lately. Hey, Eric, would you like to smell my butthole? I just want to make a universal announcement right now. It applies across the board to everybody. I mean literally everybody. The answer is no. There are no exceptions to this rule. I say, what about Rachel? No, I don't want to smell her butthole. What about yourself? No. What about Captain Flower Butthole, whose superpower is that his butthole smells like flowers? Well, maybe him then. Hi, Alec T. As you can tell, I'm not really that mad anymore. I was mad earlier when I made that earlier video, but then that made me unmad. So this is the mad after party. It's what you might call post-anger. I'm not sure what is the mood of post-anger. Is it just called that? Is there a word for that? When you're really angry about posts? No, I mean after being angry. If not, there should be an emotion for that. Spent? Do you always feel spent after you're angry though? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I have to express it to get rid of it, for sure. Depending on how mad I am about something, depends on how much and how many times I have to rant about it. And by rant, I mean make powerfully convincing, straightforward, good, strong arguments. But regardless, I have to. Otherwise, I mean, if I'm mad about something, I need to explain why to somebody who's listening to me. Ideally, as many people as possible. Because otherwise, where does it go? Where does the mad go? I'm not mad right now, though, Heartbreak Kid. Well, it's not surprising you're getting a divorce. You are the Heartbreak Kid. You break a lot of hearts. That'll also break a few marriages. Thanks. I painted it myself with acrylics. It's amazingly lifelike, isn't it? And instead of, like, those stinking censors, Klaus, don't even start in on me, alright? Listen. Those stinking censors, they have to use their eyes to see what it is that they're painting. But me, Raul Diego, I'm a genius and an intuitive. I paint with my ideas. How do I get the hose? Excellent question, Art of Self-Mastery. Excellent question. Well, first you gotta go up to them and say, hey, 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 hey. Like that. Then you gotta go to some other ones and be like, chicks love that. Perceiving Dom rants easier to listen to than judging Dom rants? Probably. Well, my previous rant there that I made was, I mean, it goes to show you how the weak linkage between what I do and how important it is. So what? Peter didn't teach you made me mad again. I mean, Peter didn't teach you's always making me mad. What? This is not news, you know? This is not news. But In this particular instance, in addition to Peter Dentici making me mad, Winston's mom then posited some function explanation about him stepping on my SI. I mean, the thing is, he's really stepping on my N. If he were stepping on my SI, he'd be saying, I don't think you remember it correctly. Okay? So, that'd be stepping on my SI. I think he's basically saying, I don't think the experience you report is allows for this possibility that you're building off of, right? But the problem is, I already know from experience with him that he's completely unreliable with those judgments. In the same way that my friend Mia Mia was. He did too. He had the same attitude as Peter Dentici about it. The thing to note is, imagine now that Peter Dentici both and I had access to the same stuff, and we both hit it hard. And he experienced this breakthrough, and I didn't, still according to him. Then the reason would change, right? It would change from you didn't really get good to you're not doing it correctly, which is what happened with my friend. He said, you're obviously not doing it correctly. Until he sat here and watched me and coached me up through it, and couldn't help but acknowledge that I definitely had done lots and lots, plenty, big, massive amounts of it, and yet still didn't like the fact that I wasn't reporting on the experience in the way that he wanted to. It's like there's this obsession with there being levels with this shit. I mean, I get it, sort of, but it's not really true. And the thing is, if it's true, like it's true, like acid or mushrooms has levels. It's not true. It's not distinct. It's not distinctly more levelly than other psychedelics like that. And so, I don't know what this weird attachment is that certain people have in their NI, with this stuff. So anyway, maybe he needs to read less Terence McKenna. That's the point I'm trying to make. No. Bad. Stupid. No magical nonsense when it comes to drugs, okay? Keep your magic out of your drugs. That's just all there is to it. Everybody should know what D-rugs are for. D-rugs are better than C-rugs, and E-rugs are whores. But D-rugs are for having lots of fun. Let's take a bunch of D-rugs until we're done. Oh yeah, they're not for learning. They're not for magic neither. Your spirituality won't improve in the ether. 'Cause D-rugs aren't for that kind of nonsense at all. Instead, they're for fun. Does everybody get it? If I say it in song form, maybe people learn better. Because if one party's fundamental frame of reference is going to be attacked, it definitely should not be mine, right? Mine's the sensible frame of reference. His is the nonsensical. I'm not mad anymore, actually. I wasn't mad as soon as I was done watching that video. People said started live streaming again. And I don't know, it came up where I talked about it or something. Or Klaus is baiting me with jokes. With jokes slash trigger things. You know you're in the right environment when, as soon as you say, okay, guys, can you please not stop calling Mia, Mia, okay? Everybody just immediately starts calling Mia, Mia. You know you're in the right environment. Oh, good. We've got a bunch of people who reflexively disobey orders. Oh, yeah, I'm happy. You know, sometimes people piss me off, then I'm not happy for the duration of being pissed off. No. Magic has the quality of high strangeness, Alien 60. That's what makes magic special. What is the quality of high strangeness? Anything that's magic contains some quality of an awareness of its own magicness and an ability to avoid being pinned down definitively that exceeds the ability of people to pin it down definitively. And there must be some sort of awareness behind it. That's high strangeness. Because look, if magic or paranormality or whatever were regular strangeness, then it could be resolved from a question of paranormality into a question of normality. Okay? But instead of seeing that as resolving a question of paranormality into a question of normality, it's seen as it was never paranormal in the first place. In other words, the quality of I believe in magic in the sense that I see believe means, you know, operate under the pretenses of, argumentationally or otherwise. Rachel's in bed. I don't know if Rachel is awake or aware that I'm streaming or not. Look, I'm fine with all those things. What high strangeness is, Alien 60, I would say that all legitimate forms of magic qualify as high strangeness, but some kinds of magic don't because they're not legitimate kinds of magic. So in other words, if there's a report, a very credible report involving maybe multiple witnesses of something that poundingly suggests an extra normal matter involving some kind of heretofore never noted or not regularly accepted as existent energy or blah, 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 blah. So basically your Sasquatches, Yetis, weird happenings like somebody reporting there being this strange blinding light in the middle of the forest, and then they heard this high-pitched sound growing until they ran away or something like that. Stuff like that, right? That qualifies as Skinwalker Ranch. That qualifies as high strangeness, where you've got good reason to believe weird-ass shit's going on there. But as you try to document it or pin it down, there's this quality of it constantly avoiding being pinned down. Shit happening when you don't have the cameras running, running out of batteries, things like that. That suggests an aware agency that is more successful fundamentally, better at playing around with us in this fashion than we are pinning it down. You have a master of form magic. I can make every room in a person leave. You hyper concentrate a fart and unleash it. That's powerful magic indeed. I've got a magical spell I'm going to cast on all of you guys right now, okay? At some point during the night tonight, or the next day or two, maybe, could be the next 40 to 72 hours, when I'm done with the invocation and I transubstantiate it with a fire over here, what's going to happen is you're going to feel within your belly, either in a dream state or in some other way, you're going to feel the musical equivalent of a tarot card in your belly. It sounds strange. You've not experienced the feeling of music in your stomach before, but when you do experience it, you're going to know what I mean. Now, when you translate the meaning of that song, because it'll be sung in a different language, okay, you're going to learn the secret of your secret chakra. What people don't know is there's another chakra. It's called the secret chakra. I can't tell you where it is. I'm one of only four or five, depending on if that one person counts. I can't say who it is even, but 4 or 5 people who know the secret of where the secret chakra is. And hi there, Rachel, my special underpants. And anyway, now we transubstantiate the spell. I hereby render unto you the feeling of song in the stomach. Okay? From now on, when asked, I want you to say your Indian name is Song Stomach or Stomach Song. Of course, if you say Stomach Song, people are going to think farts, right? We're not talking about that kind of stomach song. It's not the kind that comes out your butthole, okay? It's the sound of a Gregorian monks chanting, but they're chanting in some language other than the one you speak natively. It could be your second language. You could get lucky and be able to understand it. But it may be somewhat of an archaic dialect. I like my reasoning like I like my chanting. Archaic. Okay. The secret chakra is revealed in the 1970s classic Deep Throat. No. I am one of only 4.5 people, you could say. One of them knows it, but I'm not sure if they remember it because they have dementia now. It's not my mom, no. Anyway, just say 4 people left that know the secret location of the secret chakra. And the reason we can't tell anybody is because there's a problem, what you might call a design flaw in the secret chakra, which is if somebody concentrates all their chi and strikes at the secret chakra at exactly the right spot, it can cause a person's legs to spontaneously break. We don't want to let loose that weapon upon the world. All of a sudden, everybody would be clamoring. The clamor for wheelchair ramps would deafen us. My pineal gland not only has a retina, it has a retainer named Regina. Which is pretty good. He called her Regina for a long time, but then she kept correcting him, and eventually he couldn't pretend to not have heard her anymore. The reason we can't tell you is because we don't know what the F we're talking about. And in this instance, F, he means Friday. What, the Friday? I'm going to try saying that from now on. I'm going to try to excise all profanity from my language. No more bad words for me. No more poo jokes. No more butt jokes. No more jokes about intercoursing. No more jokes about genitals. No more jokes about death, anger, sadness, sorrow, murder, arson. No more arson jokes. I have so burnt out my arson jokes anyway at this point. But it's a pun. I used to tell a lot of arson jokes and I got really burned out on them. That's a pretty good joke, you know, that's not bad. I used to tell a lot of arson jokes, but then I got really burnt out on them. Pretty good stuff. Janene. Hi everybody, Janene here. Hi Janene. What you up to tonight? Me and the Nene and Baby are gonna go down to the car wash. You wanna go, Janene? Janene, Nene, and Baby all went to the car wash one evening to meet some handsome young men. There, they met Bo, Kokoko, and Lolo, three equally strangely named men. Janene, Nene, and Baby said, "Oh my God! Look over there! Those boys and their name tags they have on them. Bobo, Coco, and Lolo. That's kind of like us, girls." And and then they all had In-N-Out. For some reason I was picturing this at the In-N-Out in Laverne. I don't know why I had Janene going to the In-N-Out in Laverne. I guess that's where I've seen like high school students sitting together after school. You might want to alter it a little bit, Oliver, but yeah. That's another good example of the same concept. I like it. I don't know, that one's a little figure to pull off. You got me thinking about it now. Regardless, hilarity aside, let's discuss the practical, prudent, regular world benefits of being hilarious in a serious fashion. Am I turning Japanese? I don't really think so at the moment. I just got done being Japanese not that long ago, so. But you know, Atsukimasu. Those silly Japanese people. They're so, they're so enamored of certain kinds of moral conflicts, you know, like I'm talking about anime. I'm not really talking about anything else besides that. Let me get a cup of coffee, actually. It's called pot roast, but don't get excited, at least as it doesn't have any pot in it. The name's very deceptive. I've discussed this before. It's like, hey, you call this pot roast? More like meat and potatoes, for fuck's sake. Where do you get the pot from? I can't taste any pot in this. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. There's no pot in this. Well, then why the fuck do you call it pot roast? Because we make it in a pot. I thought you roasted it. We roast it in a pot. That's not called roasting, that's called boiling. Well, we call it roasting. Okay. I accuse you of false advertising. Clearly, there's no reasonable person would interpret this name of this food, pot roast, to think that it didn't have pot in it. Eric gives trouble at the restaurant. That's what that little one-man play was called. Look at me giving trouble at the restaurant. Don't be a difficult patron, please. That will scare them away. I'm talking about the waiters and the waitresses. Don't scare them away. Let them take your order, then they'll return with food, and when you taste it, perhaps you'll feel fine and say, wow, this food is mine. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. Goodbye. You want me to... No, we'll call you. Okay. How'd your audition go today, Eric? Not well. Did you do that little poem you practiced so many times? Yeah, I did it. How did you do? I got it. I didn't forget anything. I thought I did it well. I thought I killed it. And then they're just like, thank you. Wow, you worked on that for like 6 weeks. I know. So it's pretty demoralizing. I thought it was a pretty good poem. I told him I wrote it myself, didn't seem to matter. Oh. And then I go pee again. The urine drips and drops, and when it hits the other pee in the bucket, it makes a tinkling sound, you can hear it. 'Cause the microphone's relatively close to your host's penis going urine. Yes, it's going urine now. I mean, I'm done and will zip out. I will zip up now instead of zip down. Because I'm done with going pee, I found my way to an empty bladder now. And I say, wow, that was the sound of urine. Okay, so what do you think? I asked you what skills you thought you could bring to this company. How is that going to help this company? Well, it's not. It's just a skill I could bring. But I also said to bring to help this company. I mean, I could bring it for the purpose of helping this company. It just wouldn't actually help. Okay, well, I guess I should have specified that. That's a reenactment of the time I sang Sound of Urine at a job interview in response to the question, what unique skills do I have to bring to this company? Well, here's a unique skill. I can make up a song about pee-pee to the tune of Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Would you like that? Well, that is a unique skill. Not sure exactly where in our company We have a need for that. Well, I mean, doesn't the boss sometimes say, "Quick, I need someone to sing me a silly song"? No, not really. Does passive aggressiveness have any association with functions? I don't know. Eliana, does it? What do you think? I mean, really? Oh, I'm sorry. That was more active aggressive, I guess. That was my attempt to be passive aggressive and pick the low hanging fruit, humor wise, there. I don't. Yeah, maybe, sort of. I mean, I think that it has more to do with probably Enneagram type than it does functions. Like, if you're a 9, you're more likely to manifest some passive aggressiveness than if you're an 8, right? I'm never going to be passive aggressive because I'm always either nice or actively aggressive. Like, rawr! I'm going to get you. Rawr! People go, eek! Because I've been told I'm pretty intimidating. Would everybody feeling intimidated? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare everybody with my intimidating faces. That's my bad. I know my face has been registered as a deadly weapon. Just like James Bond's penis. Well, I think if someone sort of can't avoid expressing the passive aggression, it may be a perfectly healthy way of reacting against injustice for people who aren't assertive, you know? Nothing inherently wrong with not being assertive. I mean, it's kind of interesting because in order for assertiveness to work, there has to be some people who respond to pressure with give rather than pushback, right? And then there have to be some people who respond to pressure with pressure kind of put back versus controlling the conversation kind of put back. Now, I'm not going to talk to you until you're done being mad, like that kind of put back, you know? Push back. I mean, the thing is, Eliana, you say you had a therapist who told me you wouldn't go far in life if it kept it up with not being assertive enough. The reality is probably for most non-assertive people, they need to find somebody who's both assertive and willing to address, you know, to handle some certain things, you know. No, it's not because of Melissa Talks. I'm mad about something else. I made a video about it. This is the after party to that video. But note, even though it's the after party to that video, it's not the recap that video party, okay? So I don't want to go over all that again. It's just going to make me upset, potentially. And remind me of the foolhardiness of the nonsense that I had to endure. Well, see, Taylor, sometimes if you want drama, you got to make it yourself. In general, when I go on live streams, I come in with wanted to express. I mean, I'm sure that would be a good way to stir up some additional drama on the matter. Not that I think you are, but if you're concerned that it might splash over onto me, I don't care. Well, you don't have to be legitimately emotionally engaged in the thing. You can just say, I've had a chance to cool down. These are my thoughts on it. It triggered me, and I found it interesting. And you know, you can just position it like that. You have a flu, cold, is worse than all the COVID strains, plus all the cancers, plus all the venereal diseases combined. Well, Alien 60, the point is, I've talked about it, but other people haven't talked about it necessarily and may still want to talk about it. And they don't necessarily need to express different ideas. Lots of people feel a need to express themselves verbally, either to somebody in their private life or publicly if you're, say, third slot FE, like both me and Taylor are, in order to feel like they've contributed their 2 cents, It is the case that for a given proposition before the court, there were things called amicus briefs where various parties write in their reasoning as to why they think side A should win. But a lot of those people have duplications of similar reasoning. The point is, they're chiming in their 2 cents on the side of Mia. Is passive aggressiveness a function of FI? No, I mean, I think passive aggressiveness is what assertive people call non-assertive people's pushback. I mean, let's talk about an example of passive aggressiveness. We have something more to work with here than just the term. Let's produce a scenario of some sort in which somebody is being passive aggressive, and then we can talk about it more meaningfully, maybe. I feel at the moment I don't have a good grasp on what exactly you guys mean when you're talking about passive aggressive. For me, I guess it just means I don't know. I want an example to understand it. I want you to say, Joe and Mary. Mary, meow, meow, Joe, meow, meow. Mary says meow, she's being passive aggressive. Like that. Okay. Don't talk about COVID though, okay? I don't want you to get me banned from YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. It's fine. It just sounded like a little bit of a hassle. And it was, but I'm still not quite done with the SE part of it. But you know what they say in that one Disney movie? I can show you the world. Spinning, swinging around. Fabulous. You remember what they said in that one movie? It's the circle of life. And Hakuna Matata. These are the words by which people know the truth of the things that they say to the world when they speak the words that they speak upon speaking. That song's about losing your virginity. A new fantastic point of view. So it's really your penis singing it, is what you're saying. Whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. Is that your cervix there? I'm looking at square in cervix size, and yes, I'll say goodbye. Now I'm on my way in. It's so moisture and round here. Don't you dare close your puss. I didn't know that song was sung from the perspective of a man's penis on his first sexual experience. Now it makes so much more sense. So much subtle innuendo escapes me when I'm not looking out for it. Like, Under the Sea, also apparently about intercourse. Also sung from the perspective of a penis and a vagina. Under the sea, down where it's wetter, here in this vagina, under the sea. You could do a whole rock opera, a whole Disney rock opera, where you co-opt Disney songs and make them all about sex. And have the hero of the story be a penis, making his way through the world on the body of an ESTP or something. So like, when he's really going at it at the height of his humping career, and he's got one supermodel bent over in front of him and another recovering in the next room. He sings, Prince Ali, habulous he, here I am humping, and strong as 10 regular men humping away. I humped that girl over there, I humped all the girls in this square. What is this, Eric? What we're gonna do? Am new remember? I have no idea what that means. Am new remember. Well, maybe you've been looking only at grade D models. You know, they grade them like fresh farm eggs. Grade A models, unlike the stereotype, have huge titties and big asses and they're dumb as a bucket of rocks. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, what? Oh, come on, what? What's another good Disney song? Like at the beginning of this play, with the penis singing Disney songs, they could say, we start with his adolescence, the first time he gets boobs. These are breasts, these are breasts, these are breasts upon her chest, and I'm feeling them right now, and it is the best. Like that, you know. Hi, Taylor. Look, everyone, it's Taylor. He's here. I think to make this,
how's my audio?
I'm going to mess with that right now. Is what I was about to say. Okay, talk.
Mic check.
Okay. Fine. I'll put on headphones. Oh, merciful heavens, there. You'll put on the headphones. Why are you going to do that? You'll make your ears hot. It's okay. My ear can be hot once in a while. Like the rest of me.
That's what I was just thinking, but I didn't want to say it. Sound gay.
Alright, it's going to take me 1 second to switch up some settings here. Piao. 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 Correct. Yeah. Do you not want to be on the screen?
You do this setup. I just didn't realize I was, because in the past when I've joined this, I've just been audio, but that's fine.
Well,
I saw Baba.
The level of production around here just keeps getting more and more professional. That's why.
It is really good.
Well, it is better than it used to be.
Bubba Fett, I'm all out of cigars, which is a bummer.
Do you have any cigarettes?
I do have. Yeah, I do.
Okay, because then no need to panic.
Ah, Bubba Fett, I got one left. Sweet.
Elise S. says, Klaus, I do not find her hot. She also got plastic surgery. Eye lift, nose job, lip fillers, chin fillers, cheek fillers, done super young. Who is that you're talking about?
Melissa talks.
Grace Jones? No, nobody finds Grace Jones attractive. Men drool over Klaus Jenner? Who's Klaus? Is Klaus related to dental floss? Jenner, I believe, is her name? Not Caitlyn Jenner, is it? Or what's the young Kendall Jenner? Is that her name?
There's a Kendall, there's a Chloe, there's a Kim.
The one that's the model is named Kendall, right?
Or Caitlyn.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not Kim and it's not Chloe.
Oh, there's a Kylie Jenner as well. How many of these girls are there?
And all of them, like, the dudes that get with them always go nuts.
Well, Kanye was nuts before Kim.
But he's only gotten worse.
I mean, I think if you were to look at the progression of him nuttiness, I think you'd see the line steady from the first time he got famous till now. There's a steady increase of nuttiness.
It has been sort of a straight line.
He's always been super weird. Like,
Project.
remember that like Taylor Swift thing when he got up on
That was
stage
the
and
greatest douchebag moment ever.
I was like, "Oh, Kanye, what are you doing?"
And of all the people to do it to, you got like this little 18-year-old girl who's got her first big thing going on, and he runs up on stage and sticks up for Jay-Z, the well-established
I think it was Rihanna.
rap mogul.
Actually,
Like, huh?
it was Rihanna though, right?
No, it was Jay-Z, I think. I think he was
And
saying
it's all the single
Beyonce.
ladies.
It was Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce. All the single ladies is the song he was talking about.
Right. So Beyonce is like well established. It's not like she needed him sticking up for her.
Right. Beyonce. Is that a real name? Did they just make that up?
Hmm.
Beyonce.
They all worship Satan and drink baby blood, anyways.
You know, but I was talking with Rachel last night about how I didn't believe that Reese Witherspoon was really Reese Witherspoon's name. So we looked it up. It turns out her name's actually Laura Jean Reese Witherspoon. So it is actually her name. Sounds like a bullshit name, right? Reese Witherspoon. I said to
Yeah,
Rachel,
it does.
I said, it sounds like a Halloween flavor Baskin Robbins.
She has 4 names though.
Laura something Jean. No, Laura Jean Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, Laura Jean Reese Witherspoon. Laura
There's something
Witherspoon.
pretentious about having 4 names. If you give your kid 4 names,
Well, you're just giving him one extra.
I know.
So
There's something pretentious about that.
yeah, you don't need to give him one extra. But if her name was Laura Witherspoon, I don't think that works as well as an actress name.
I bet that if you'd spent a decade or two, however long she's been around, hearing the name Laura Witherspoon, it would work in your head better than Reese.
Well, I think maybe, but in either case, it's harder to say. Laura Witherspoon requires you to reset for 2 different R's in rapid succession.
Well,
whereas-
Laura is just a harder word phonetically. It's more syllables.
Yes. Plus, all women named Laura are hard and cold women.
That is true.
Sorry, Laura's out there. I don't actually believe that. I just made an arbitrary generalization. I've not really known any. I knew Laura way a long time ago. She was fine. She was nice. Whatever. Given how common a name Laura is, oh, I have known another Laura. Actually, now that I think about it, how many Lauras have you known in your life? Do you think, Taylor?
Quite a few, handful. I've known more Laurens.
Okay. Of all girls' names, of the girls that you've met, known, talked to, or whatever, what do you think the most common girl's name has been?
Jenny and Katie. Probably Jenny. I've known so many Jennies and Katies. If you scroll through my phone book, it's just like when you hit those names.
What about guy names? Friends, guy friends. Do you have a most common name?
Ben.
Ben. I noticed there was an onslaught of Brandons sort of coming into the world of things maybe a few years ago. There was a Nick onslaught, it seemed a bit a while back too. There's a number of
There's
Nicks.
always only, well, I do know a lot of Nicks.
But the thing about Nicks is a lot of them go by Nicholas. They don't all necessarily go by Nick.
There is something to be said though for like you can tell something about a person by their first name. Like there are names that I always get along with and names that I don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna run some names by you and you tell me, cool or not cool guy. Okay, I'm gonna do guy names first. Kevin.
Yep, lots of Kevins. Kevins are good.
Kevin's real okay. Okay, how about this? Stan.
Stan, I don't have enough of a database of Stan experiences to answer that one.
Okay. How about Jason?
Jasons are good.
Okay. What name comes to mind as a bad name that are associated with bad people?
Um, Travis. I tend not to get along with Travises.
Can't trust a Travis.
It might be because our names are sort of similar.
Mm.
I don't know.
What about Brody?
I don't know if I know any Brodies.
But hypothetically, if you were told, oh, you can meet my friend Brody, what would your preconceptions be about Brody?
Um, you know, that he's a stereotypical bro. How could he not be?
He's got a truck and a jet ski. That's what I think.
Keith's are also Keith is kind of a delicate one. Keith,
You don't like Keiths? Keiths are kind of dicks, man.
I don't know. I can't think of them without prompting. Um,
Okay, well, let me ask you
Keiths
this.
are kind of puffy. They got a lot of bravado,
Okay, all right,
but
sure.
it's correct. Yeah.
They're a little bit of the friend of the main
They're
bad
try
guy.
hard. They're try hard.
Okay.
They're try hards.
What about Misty?
I get along well with Misties. Misties are fun.
What about Chris? What about Crystal?
Crystals are wild, but also sneaky.
How about Shannon?
Shannons are fat.
What about Greg?
Greg is boring.
I like this NI game. What about James?
Jameses are good. We like Jameses.
Okay. What about Beverly?
That's my grandma, and nobody's been named Beverly since then.
Okay, what about Barbara?
Also, a name that phased out. Yeah, it lasted. It's not as old as Beverly got phased out, but it's definitely phased out since then.
What about Veronica?
I only know one, so it's I don't know if that's enough data.
Okay. Have you ever known any Lolas? Or what do you think about the name Lola?
I have not. Um, it reminds me of the Eric Clapton song, but like if he was drunk or something.
Okay, what about Madison? I like that suggestion. Cammy.
Good. Madison is good, assuming it's a chick. If it's a guy,
Okay. Um, what if,
Madisons are generally nice.
what if you heard the girl you were going to meet was named Pony? What would you think about her?
I would cancel that. I wouldn't meet her.
What about an Amber? How are Ambers?
Ambers are fine. A little bit stiff sometimes, but good all around.
How about Catherines? Catherines with a K or Cathys?
What do they go by?
Kath.
Because if it's Cat, there's Catherine, Cat, Katie.
Oh right, yeah, those are all kind of the same thing, huh?
Right. There's a lot of variations of Catherine.
So what do you think that? So you think the most common variation of Catherine that you've encountered is Katie?
Yeah.
Do you think if somebody refers to them of themselves as Catherine, you think of them as more stuffed up?
Um, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way to me too. My name is Catherine.
I mean, it's a lot longer name with a lot more. So you have to want to stick to Catherine pretty hard, to have it not naturally evolve into something shorter.
I wonder why no one nicknames themselves Catheter.
That's a good question. I was just wondering the other day how and why Richard would ever evolve into Dick. Both of those. How did this happen, and why would this happen?
That's a curious one, I agree, because Rich is the natural shortening of it. What about the name Stephanie? What are Stephanies like?
Stephanies are cool. We like Stephanies.
I mean, I'm going to give you three female names, and you tell me which girl of the three all you know about them is that they're all 29 years old. Each of them is 29 years old.
Good
and,
age.
And their name. And you're going to tell me which one
Okay.
you want to go out with or try a first date with. So their names are Julie, Judy, and Kimberly.
Does she go? Is it Kimberly or is it Kim?
Kimberly.
Um, why is this a hard one?
I don't know.
I mean, so none of those names really is particularly strong either way. They're all pretty neutral in my book.
I think of Julie's as cute.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna start with Julie, and then Kimberly, and then last Judy.
Yeah, Judy's I think of as like secretaries. Like, yeah, you can't see him right now. My name's Judy Davidson, and I work here, and you can't see that person. Sorry, that's Judy. You know. Rebecca. What do you think about Rebecca?
Rebecca's good.
Or is Rebecca better or is Becky better?
Rebecca.
Okay. What about Elizabeth?
Again, there's a lot of variations.
What's better, Elizabeth or Liz?
Elizabeth.
See, my actual association
Liz just tends to be like that funny friend, in the group, like
kind of.
Who's kind of like forcing her off-timed jokes into, hey, listen to this, hey, listen to this. And you just kind of want her to like be quiet and.
She brings a little masculine energy to the party.
Yeah, it's like go throw some darts or something, Liz. We're trying to talk here.
What about Mia? Mia or Brittany?
I don't have enough data.
Which do you want to date more, Mia or Brittany?
Well, Brittany.
Okay.
I don't have very much data on Mia, but Brittany.
What if it's spelled Britnie?
That's not a thing. That's never.
Okay. All right. Well, if I were to say to you, hey, we're making a movie, what famous song do you think I should use in the soundtrack to play underneath this scene where these two people are slowly getting to know each other over a long day?
Are you showing me something? I'm in Werribee still, so I'm not actually seeing anything except for myself.
No, I'm just asking you questions.
Oh.
Like, these are basically NI style questions of, like, what does this bring to mind to you? So in other words,
Right.
if you were going to be the person making the soundtrack to a movie, and I told you, here's the scene. It's a montage. It's a day long of different kind of dates between this couple. First, they learn each other at the coffee shop, then they go have fun, some activity, then they share a movie, it shows them in learning about each other and having a nice day. What song do you put underneath it in the soundtrack? And this question's open to everybody in the chat too.
I don't know. I'd have to scroll through Spotify for a minute and like look at things. That's how I do everything. Like in my videos, when I do like I phase in little songs over the intro or outro scene, and I can never just think of a song off the top of my head. I always have to go and kind of roll through and go until I look at something that I need the SE.
I see. Makes sense. What do you want, Trouble? I think I better feed this cat here. He opened the door and is looking at me.
Oh, okay, but I did just get one. What's that? Ah, hold on. Simon and Garfunkel song, the really happy one. They're like,
Um,
give me a sec. Where'd my phone go?
the thing is, that had occurred to me too, James Careless, but I think that conveys a non first day getting to know each other quality, but rather a totality of experience that would either be related to somebody you have previous experience with, or somebody that the totality of your experience with them is that one day or something. You know, it's like it doesn't feel like a beginning. Oh, you already fed Trouble? Thanks, Rachel. He just wanted to look at me, I guess. Let me know. I'm still here. And I am still trying to petition.
Cecilia.
Cecilia, that's a good one. Although the lyrics are, "You're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence, baby." So that wouldn't really work for it in terms of the lyrics.
But
In
it's such
terms
a
of the
good
tune,
sound.
yeah,
It's so up tempo and
it is a good song. It's one of my favorite Simon and Garfunkel songs.
I'd still play it. I don't care about the lyrics.
Would you like to swing on a star? Okay, I'm gonna go read some chat from up above that I've skipped. Oh, so I haven't been looking
Okay,
at.
go ahead. I'm gonna open the window and smoke a cigarette.
Okay. So let's see what's going on here in the old chatteroo. A lot of men cannot tell when certain cosmetic procedures have been done. They have also done studies showing men, a woman with makeup versus barefaced, a large amount thought that chicks with full face of makeup were natural and bare skin. It's a pretty bad sign of our society. I mean, did they give the side by sides and they get it backwards? Is that what you're saying? If not, then it's not a big deal. I've only ever one time met one person that I actually thought, oh, I understand why people wear makeup now. This girl, she always wore makeup, I guess, and then one day she showed up to school without any makeup on. She was a middle school girl. And I'm like, are you okay? Are you sick or something? You look really, like, not well, under the weather. Are you sure you're feeling okay? She's like, I'm just not wearing any makeup today. I was like, oh. So normally when you look like I normally look at you, you're wearing makeup, and today you're not, and that's why you look all pale and, like, sick. But that's the only person I've ever encountered that phenomenon with, is that one girl. So, let's see. Winston's mom informs us about Hubert Blaine Wolfschlechtenstein-Hausenberger-Storff Sr., who has a long name. And then, saying a chick without makeup and surgery looks like a scarecrow. Who's saying that? Nobody's saying that. They're all Satanists, Bohemian Grove and rituals. Art of Self-Mastery. Can we not play Satanists and Illuminati? It's not a fun game. Watching interviews with Angelina and that ex-husband are painful to watch. Angelina Jolie and that ex-husband being Brad Pitt. What's a polite way of calling someone ugly? Unfortunate looking. It's something that they said in Legally Blonde. That's what Reese Witherspoon says. Plain. I knew a girl named Laura back in elementary school. Her father was on the zoning board and named 2 streets after her. Everyone thought this made her super groovy. Laura Street and Laura Street 2? Pizzagate shooter was probably onto something. I don't know anything about that. But let's not play... Yeah. Brody is the most ESTP jock name ever. Yeah. So, I mean, Chad is as well. Elijah. Elijah makes me think of somebody like in the engineering department or something. Like a postdoctoral student. I don't know. Worshipping money and destroying your face with body and chemicals irreversible is pretty unattractive to me. Well, those are totally different things. So, destroying your face and body with chemicals and irreversible procedures being pretty unattractive to you makes sense. Worshipping money being unattractive might also make sense, but they don't belong in the same paragraph. Let's see here. What else do I have to criticize? In a meta sense, but there are more sinister ones, ritualistic ones. College kids are just dumb for the most part. Well, that's true, they are. Whatever happened to policy about virology? It went viral. Fake plastic doll bodies and selfishness make you pop a boner, dude? Selfishness, again, okay, you are mixing 2 different things into one paragraph. You're basically saying, do you find non-real bodies, those that have like fake boobs or something, arousing? And then you're also asking a separate question. This should be asked in a separate question because it's not related, which is, do you find selfishness arousing? I don't find selfishness arousing. Like, for example, if Rachel's like, here, get out of my way, you don't need any of that, I'm taking it all for myself. That doesn't arouse me. It's never happened, but I can't imagine finding it arousing, more like annoying. I find it unappealing but not unattractive, says Klaus. Fake asses that look like someone shoved an airbag in the arse? Well, I mean, that would be... Are you talking about an inflated airbag or an uninflated airbag? Because if somebody looks like they have an inflated airbag shoved in their ass, then that's going to look
like when a chick
freakish.
turns to the side and her jeans was like, there's like a perfect half circle.
I agree the university does push a status quo on students. Damn university. Now, I like the idea of obviously definitely a chick named Lola because it makes me think of Lola Bunny more than Lola from the Kinks, from the Kinks song.
Oh, isn't that the chick bunny on Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, that's the Lola that I draw the connection with first instead of the Kinks song, although I am familiar with the Kinks song. There are many pure socialists at your school pushing their agenda. Yeah, pure socialists. I mean, well, the pure authoritarians, they should call themselves.
The irony of them calling other people fascists.
I pray no one is named Catheter. Your adoptive legal name is definitely not hot at all. What, Elise? It sounds like you arranged possession of a car long-term online. Ba-da-da-da-da-da! Hooray! What is the female version of Jebediah? I don't think there is a female version of Jebediah. Jebediah? Dick Phyllis is the president of the People's Republic of Gonorrhea. Good to know.
Jemima is a syrup brand, and Naomi is a fashion model. You can't. I mean, these obscure names that nobody is named except for like the one famous instance of it, or they're all gonna make me think of exactly what you're thinking of when you ask them.
I mean, I don't think of. I now that you mentioned there's some model or something named Naomi, I can kind of visualize, but I don't think of anybody in particular when I think of Naomi because it's a common enough name for kids to have in classes of Chinese kids or whatever. Like
It is.
I've had a fair
I
number of
don't think I know any
Naomis, so
Naomis.
yeah, the Chinese girl, the Chinese families around where I work, there are a lot of them named girls Naomi. It seems like that was a common one, and Brandon was very common. I had a lot of Brandons in my
We're
classes.
Chinese boys.
Yeah. I mean, they all have American
Huh.
names, and then they have a Chinese name potentially in their middle name, right? But yeah, they kind of come in waves. Like you get a wave of Brandons and a wave of Naomis. Like all the parents, half the parents in this, they had their kid this year decided to name their kid Naomi for some reason. Do You Want to Hold Me by Bow Wow Wow. I don't know that song. Do You Want to Hold Me by Bow Wow Wow.
Is that Bow Wow? Little Bow Wow?
No, I think it's an 80s band, Bow Wow Wow.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty sure. Like like the cutest girl of all the girls around that me and my friends knew anyway. And she would have competed against the other girls too, but was named Camille when I was a teenager. So whenever I think of the name Camille, I think of a very cute girl with a pixie haircut.
Isn't that Prince Charles' old lady's name?
Camille? Oh yeah, it is. Camille Boyles Parker. Boyles or something like that. Yeah, but I think of Camille Goss, this girl I knew when I was in high school. And when I think of Gigi, I think of Gigi Yount, this girl I knew when I was in high school that I had a big crush on, but she was one of the popular girls. Like, she was a blonde, ditzy, cheerleady type girl, but she was nice. And I really wanted to hump her. I never did. Isn't that a sad story?
It is sad.
Have you ever humped a Gigi? There aren't that many Gigis out there, you know?
No, I only know one Gigi, and it's what my daughter calls her mom's mom. It's like her grandma name is not her name.
Well, Gigi's actual name was Gigi. Gigi Yount. That's which is a weird enough name that if you Googled her right now, it should probably pop up. There can't be that many other Gigi Younts in the world.
I wouldn't think so. I hope not.
It was an odd enough name that I remember the last name as well as the first name for some reason. Even though, I guess because I knew her pretty well. Like, we worked, I went over to her house a few times to like work on school stuff. Even though she and I did not run in the same circles at all.
Those are the best girls to hang out with sometimes.
Yeah. And then I
You
remember,
don't contaminate your friend group with drama.
but then I remember looking her up like on Facebook maybe 10, 15 years later when Facebook was around, and she was all brown and leathery. Like she had spent the ensuing years in tanning booths or something.
Facebook really lets you know how poorly people you went to high school with have aged.
I just remember feeling like, oh, because she was so like, she was such like this perfect. You could have easily cast her as the ditzy but nice girl, cheerleadery type girl in a high school movie, and she would have been perfect, you know. And then, and there's something so pure and innocent about her, even though I'm sure she wasn't innocent. But but regardless, about her dumbness or whatever, there's something like adorable about it. And then you see her 10 years later, and Jesus, all that fresh face, apple cheeked freshness is all dead and gone because this dumbass fucking put herself in tanning booths. Like, why would you do that? Why do you want?
Vain.
I mean, but it doesn't make you look better, right? It doesn't make you look better to be browner if you're a white girl with blonde hair. Why does she need to be brown?
I mean, you can tell. You can tell a real tan and a not real tan somehow. It's the eyes. It's that little tiny white ring around their eyes.
Uh, because if you're tanning naturally, then you don't have such a neat and tidy ring around your eyes.
Yeah, you're not wearing those little, the little things, the little glasses things that you put over your eyes in the tanning booth.
Yeah, that's true. And if you were tanning more naturally, then it takes longer. But as a consequence, you don't have those super defined, singular lines there or whatever.
And you can always tell a spray-on tan.
Okay, but Morridge, I gotta say something. Even if you think the chick looks better when she's a little tanned or than when she's not, um, it's like that's not the sort of thing you can try to maintain as an attribute. It's like if you happen to meet somebody after you got back from a weekend at the beach, great, maybe they'll find you more attractive because you're a little tanner than usual, but you don't try to sustain that degree of tanness forever. And whoever you're going to get with, even if they thought you were cute because you were tan, surely they're not going to go, ew, you're all pale now. When you become untan, right? Who's going to say that? Nobody.
If you're tanning enough to become leathery, you're probably tanning enough that it's become unattractive before the leather, right?
I would guess, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what the progression is like, but yeah, I would guess.
I don't
Makes
either,
sense. Yeah, tanning booths are a bad thing. Also, chicks who do too much shit with their hair, so that it's like this weird, brittle, chemically destroyed thing, and nothing soft about it at all or natural about it. That's kind of like, okay, well, I know the visual realm of things is one realm to create impacts on, but it feels icky to the touch if it's all bleached out and shit, and it doesn't smell as good. And so there's other variables besides just sight to care about, right?
That is correct. But even sight, like if it's so fried that it feels rough, it looks like it feels rough too.
I mean, I would agree with you, but I'm saying even if the girl wants to make the case that, well, I'm doing it because it looks better, why such a prioritization on the visual field? You've just been caring about non-intimate relationships with the hair, I guess. That's the point.
I mean, I think that what gets chicks is if you're not blonde and you bleach your hair blonde, it's kind of hard to get out of that, because then you got your roots going on, and I don't know.
Well,
I'm just speculating from the hip. I have no idea. That might not be. why, but
Well, the other thing is, girls are a lot more hesitant to just chop off all of their hair that was bleached and let the new roots come in clean. They want to keep their length, you know? So, that's hair stuff. Here we are, Taylor and I talking about hair. Who knew?
and neither of us have it very thick, so we're
Yeah. I took my mom to the barber the other day and was rather enviously looking at her lush head of hair that she still has at 80 whatever. She's got a freaking mane on top of her head. It's not even all gray yet.
my daughter's hair is so thick and long. Yeah, and like Katie bleached the girl's hair the other night when she was doing her own. They were like, "Oh, we want to do it too," so she did it. And Jordan, like after bleaching, you couldn't tell any difference at all.
Did she like the experience of bleaching her hair, or did she say like, I don't like the way this makes my hair feel?
She didn't like the way it felt
When it was on her
on her
scalp?
head or something.
Yeah.
Right.
It does
Like during the
burn.
process. After, yeah, you got to fry your hair. You got to do more than one bleach round to fry it to where you can feel it. But
Yeah. Alright, well look, this room's about to kick us out because I got the 45-minute limit on this one, so I'm ready to go to
well,
bed anyway.
thank you for having me on.
Alright, thanks for being here, Taylor.
It's been
Nice
a
seeing you.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Talk to you later. And
Later.
I will probably say goodbye to everybody else here in a second. So, that was nice chatting with Taylor. And I'm tired. And most importantly, what I realized is Rachel never filled out her brackets on ESPN. So, since the games start tomorrow, I really should finish filling in those brackets. So we have 25 brackets to look at. I was mad about saffron, like Donovan, okay? It just meant I was really into it. Alright, good night, sweethearts. It's time to go. Meagity meow, meagity meow. I love you all with all my heart. Before I go, I'll have to part. And when I do, you'll know the truth, and then you'll see that my name is Ruth. The end.